So I got a Blick Box today. I'm gonna open it and really spontaneous live stream. I was trying to get my phone to turn sideways but whatever mobile YouTube just doesn't seem to want me to do the landscape perspective because of course they don't. Um, yeah, I was gonna record it as part of the vlog for this week, but I was like, I'd rather just do this live because I got other more interesting things to the vlog this week, which you guys will see Sunday. So, I'll give it a couple of minutes. I know this is kind of out of the blue. I also won't be able to see comments unless I go back and forth because I don't screen and phone and whatever. But yeah, so I did a little bit of a restock for colors. Some of it's new stuff, some of it's old stuff, some of it's new stuff that's also kind of old stuff. Everything like that. It's also because it's the middle of the day. I figured this gives my my friends and fans in Europe a chance to watch something. Hopefully, for anyone watching here in the U.S., you're either retired on vacation like me, or maybe you're watching on your lunch break. Who knows? So, yeah. Open this thing up and get this stuff started. You know what? I will give it a couple minutes. I'll tell you some other stuff I've been doing. So, part of this box, anyway, is I'm looking for replacement colors for a couple of the discontinued pigments that happened recently, and a couple of colors from Golden that I can't really buy anymore because there won't be any more of them to buy, at least after my stock is gone. So there's quinacridone nickel azo gold because quinacridone burnt orange or quinacridone gold is no longer available as a pigment, so they can't make the paint color anymore. So I've been playing with variations to get that color. And mostly what I've found has been, there's a test sample here. This is the high flow nickel azo gold, and these are a couple of similar ones that I mixed up, primarily with transparent red iron oxide, which has kind of been a more of a go-to for me for glazes lately. And that one's so far been really valuable to try and get back to that color space for glazes, which is what I use the Quin Burnt Orange for, as well as the Indian Yellow Hue, which I think I was talking about this last vlog 2 weeks ago, is their India Yellow Hue, their replacement for it, is not even remotely the same. So I am looking for something new to replace that. I'm getting together with a friend of mine soon. She got one color as a possible replacement. I got another as a possible replacement. We're going to mix and match, probably go down to the Blick store itself to actually see all of the colors out and really start to hammer out what we're both going to be using for replacements for that. So some of that thought concept is also in this box as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open this thing up. Again, I got to go back and forth to comments and view and stuff, which I'll try to do periodically. But for the most part, I'm just going to go straight through. Also, my phone's on like 45% battery, so I can't really let this run super long. Packing slip. Whole bunch of items all in one box for a change. Oh, that's right. I forgot half the stuff I bought. I just got all this stuff Sunday. Already forgot. All right. So I was just talking about the transparent red iron oxide in the heavy body, and I was thinking about restocking it in the heavy body, and then I saw that they had a couple of things on clearance, and it was the open version of the transparent red iron oxide in a little 4-ounce jar, which is awesome. So that will probably just sit on my studio table here. And since I've been using the color a lot, and I'm mostly using it to, again, glazes, not so much mixing in between with colors, but it's going to really allow me to, whoa, that blipped. It's really going to allow me to play with those glaze mixes a little easier. as well as have enough of it to keep working on that, trying to find colors that fit in that color space that help me as a replacement. So, take that. And standard for every tube, jar, whatever, I put paint on the cap in order to let me see what it is without without having to look very far or distance wise. Also, I was thinking about this. You guys probably won't be able to see it from where you're at, but my shelf where I keep my opens is rearranged. I've had the golden MSAs behind them forever, but I don't really use these much, so I can probably hide them in the corner behind my gouache, which will probably be where they're gonna live now, since I don't touch my gouache super often either. Which frees up a little more space for the opens, which I think this should fit on that shelf now. Yeah, perfect. Good. All right. So, I've also been teetering with replacing out or changing out my Liquitex spray paint with some Montana spray paint. The only real reason here is, like, I have nothing against the Liquitex stuff. I actually love it more so because I can use it in the studio and not have to open a window. But because of its formulation and nature, it clogs up a lot faster than any other can would. So especially for colors, since I'm never using the colors other than white. Like the white, I'll keep in the Liquitex one because I use it constantly. But all of my other colors, I'm using like a tiny little spray of here and there, and then they just sit. So because it just sits, it gives a lot of time for the cap to and the paint to dry into the nozzle. So I figured I could probably just go to the Montana cans for some of those colors, and that such things. Now I try to buy them in store, but I had a few sitting around, and I was thinking, like, what else can I throw on this shopping order? And I can already tell the couple I picked up probably aren't going to be a one-to-one match. So I'm playing with some yellows. I've got so in the Liquitex, I've got the Cad Yellow medium hue. I have a Montana True Yellow, but this is way different. It's a way cooler of a yellow. I was looking for something warmer. Problem with the online listing is you never really come close with it. So I got Yellow Light, SH Yellow Light. And even this one is not quite right either, so I'll probably be getting another one. But I do like the fact that it's a little bit more of a pastel tone. So all three of these are completely different. So I got that one in a Montana Gold anyway. There's a purple Lakers, which I assume is a play on Los Angeles Lakers purple. I will say that I thought this was going to be way darker because the listing and again the online showed a swatch that was way, way, way darker than this, but that actually isn't bad. That's fairly similar to what I was thinking, so that's not the worst. This might be the best color match I've had, and that is Clock Orange to match out the Cadmium Orange. Yeah, that one's probably the best one I got in terms of one-to-one match. Which is why I don't normally try to do that in stores, so I don't necessarily have that problem in terms of all that, but it is what it is. What else? Caps, because I'm in spray paint, and I was like, I gotta get caps. I've got too many. I don't even know what's in that. Too many other things going on, and I run out of caps super fast. So, pink fat caps, green fat caps, and I think these are sort of regular or possibly thin green caps. Would have been nice if they labeled them. They're on the packing slip. I can get them later. Restock on caps. This is primarily restocks. Oh, there's the nozzles for the other spray cans. Oh, that's funny. This spray cap's actually missing the inside pin, so it's just a dud. All right, other stuff. Golden Open Thinner. New medium for me to try. I've been thinking about it periodically because I got a mixing with the opens in my regular palette a lot, but I end up with having the problem of I want the open effect on my other paints without having to buy the whole other color. So I'm thinking the open thinner would probably work similarly to the GAC 100, but create the open effect. So little bottle to try. Okay, a couple restocks. High Flow Titanium White. I just realized they changed the. Looks like they may or may not have changed the bottle again. A little bit. Not a ton. It just they made the logo bigger. Logo's bigger. Changed around some of the information on the front. Actually, I think all the text is bigger. Other than that, roughly about the same. Always good to have restocks. I'm having to rearrange my shelf a little now though, with all this stuff. Okay, the other one that's both a restock and not a restock. It's a replacement. So I've been using the Carbon Black on the High Flow. Specifically because they didn't have Mars Black until about a year ago when they came out with the Mars Black one. I'm like, oh, awesome! I much prefer Mars Black. So when this Carbon Black is empty, it's actually about half full still. But I wanted to make sure I got the Mars Black to as an exchange. So I'll be using this in my paint markers as well, outside of the Carbon once it's gone and everything like that. And I do use a decent amount of it. Check with you guys here. All right. So, glazing liquid. Oh shit! I got the gloss stuff. I wasn't supposed to. Damn it. Oh well. Let me double check that. Yeah, I got gloss by mistake. Not the end of the world, but my glazing liquid that I bought, like, it's got to be almost 10 years ago. It was in the full 16 ounce. I didn't need the entire 16 ounce, but that's all. The day I bought it, they didn't have the smaller one. So regular glazing liquid again, always good. Really would have preferred to have the satin and not the gloss, but I apparently wasn't paying enough attention when I bought it. Knowing me, I will probably down the road also buy the satin one, so I'll just have one of each. I gotta figure out what the hell is in this. I have no idea. Other than bubble wrap, you know. It looks like a bottle of some kind. I just don't know what kind of bottle. Oh, it's glass. That's why. Well, hell, at least it got here in one piece. Another restock. Come on. There we go. The Core Synthetic Oxgall. It's a wetting agent for watercolors. My bottle that I have is not quite empty, but it is getting there. So again, having the extra restock one, and actually similarly, it seemed, well, it's similar to the acrylic. I think they made, I don't know if they made it bigger or it's just a little bit cleaner than the one that I have, but yeah, always happy to have restock extras on my regular stuff. Okay, paint time. Well, oh, actually no. Oh, forgot about this one. My favorite thing to do when I'm buying online is, okay, well, even in the store too, is got all the stuff that I needed to, what's on the clearance list? It's like, well, there were a couple of pastels for a couple of Prismacolor new pastels for like 75 cents or something like that on the dollar. So I'm like, well, that's pretty damn good. I've got a carmine and a corn yellow. Not that I really needed them, but they were dirt cheap, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'll take them. Goes great with the brown one I got on clearance a couple of trips ago. Little extra fodder for my watercolors. Or watercolors, pastels. Jeez. I'm a little overdue for a pastel piece too. Although the next dry media thing I do is probably going to be another charcoal character portrait. Okay, now we can talk paint. So, restock my open bone black. Again, not totally empty, but it is getting there. And unlike the carbon black in the high flow, the bone black is what I prefer for the open. And I noticed I've been using it a lot more lately, so having a little extra always helps. All right. Last two more boxes. Do this one first. Two here. General restocks, Smalt Hue and Sap Green. Both my tubes are past halfway gone, so I'm like, get more of them, absolutely. They are both by far an absolute staple. I use them in almost every piece that I make, so having my extras for the year are going to be a good thing. Cap it. And tap it and cap it, I guess you could say. Okay. Last tube box. Almost forgot that I restocked this. So now I'm not a huge fan of acrylic wash. I find that it doesn't do much for me, with the one exception of the white acrylic wash. There's still a little bit left in here. I was actually using some of it this morning when I painted the stars on that canvas. Oh, I didn't say. Talking to you here like I'm working on a space piece. Recorded that for the vlog. Didn't think about it. But yeah, I was like, I'm not going to restock any of the other colors I have except white, because white's the only one I really care about on the acrylic wash side. Interestingly, this is primary white and this is titanium white, but I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same. Yeah, they're at least in terms of overall color, they're exactly the same. So that's good. That squares that away. That box can go in there. Okay. Just bigger, 60 mil. They're 1 milliliter more paint than a standard 2-ounce tube. Interestingly. Okay. So this is hopefully my replacement for the Indian Yellow from Golden. This is the Old Holland New Masters acrylics. I've never used their acrylics before, so I have no idea what they're going to be like in terms of viscosity. I assume they're going to be heavy body because they're a heavy body paint. This is Indian Yellow Orange Extra. Already I can tell that the hue definitely is leaning oranger. Side by side comparing here, the swatch on the tube is hand painted. They are, seems to be pretty close to each other in terms of pigment and glaze. Here, I'll even do that. That looks probably functionally indistinguishable. And where this was a mix, this is actually a single pigment color. So I am genuinely curious what this is going to be like for me. Yeah, I am. Yeah, and again, totally new brand of acrylics. I've never tried these before. The viscosity feels very similar. Maybe slightly looser than the golden. It's definitely leans oranger. I think even than the Indian yellow that I've got already. But Old Holland has like 4 different Indian yellows, possibly 5 different ones. So I think this could be an interesting choice, and possibly a lot closer than Golden's own replacement for their own color. So yeah, I'll have to definitely give this guy a few tests. Okay, last thing in the box. Before I get there, I do want to double check over here. Okay. Last thing in the box is something that's kind of been on the list for a while, and it's something that will come up in a video later this year once I've had enough testing time. So one of my most popular videos on the channel, at least in the recent couple of years, is the joint compound versus molding paste video. One that I honestly had no idea was going to be as popular as it was. And one thing that a lot of people kept suggesting was make your own, what they just refer to as texture paste. So like your own molding paste, your own stuff like that. The most common variations I saw, people were saying different types of joint compound, spackle, more caulking. A lot of people said use glue. That's a terrible idea up and down the board, but thoughts for later. And the one that caught my attention the most was plaster. So this is plaster of Paris. I haven't used any plaster in any capacity since I was about like 7 or 8. So this is really a heavily experimental idea. I will not bring it into video format until I know for sure either it works or it doesn't or what have you. Will obviously need to be different formulations, different dry tests, as well as just essentially what it will, like ratios is what I'm trying to get to here. So this is 4.5 pounds of plaster, which I will be mixing in varying quantities with my acrylics, as well as probably just a little bit with water. I have some powdered gypsum that I might work with as well. I think the gypsum. That's the soapstone, not the gypsum, which might actually also just be gypsum. It's the ones off of the soapstone sticks. I just ground them into a powder. So yeah, it should be a fun bit of stuff to experiment with. But that's what's going on right now. I'm also gearing up for my solo exhibition on Saturday in 2 days, Splatter Worlds. Check my Instagram for information on that if you're in the local Pittsburgh area. But that's it for my new stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this little live stream in the afternoon. Thanks guys for watching. Keep on creating, and I will see you guys next time.